Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another summer nail set, and this is the inspiration photo I found on Instagram. I'll have the original creator credited on the screen. For today's tutorial, I'll be creating this set using Gel X extensions. So without further ado, let's get started. First, I'm removing my previous nail set, which is the design from my last video. I used the Jello peel-off base, so I'm going in with the matching remover serum. I apply the serum around the cuticle area and underneath the extensions, then let it sit for about 2 minutes before gently lifting around the cuticles and sidewalls. This helps the remover serum penetrate further underneath the extension. Sometimes the nails pop right off after that initial lift, but most of the time I'll apply another layer of remover serum and let it sit for another 10 minutes. As tempting as it can be, you never want to force or rip the nails off. They should come off with little to no resistance, so just let the remover serum work for as long as it needs to. I also always apply 2 coats of the Jello peel-off base because it makes removal so much more easier. The trade-off is that it usually leaves behind some gel on the natural nails, so once everything is removed, I simply buff away the remaining product and wipe everything clean with some rubbing alcohol. Now that the nails are removed, I can start prepping for my next set. First, I'm trimming down my natural nails so that they won't peek underneath my Gel X extensions. If you're trying to grow out your natural nails, you can definitely skip this step, but I prefer to keep mine nice and short. Next, I'm filing the free edge to smooth out any roughness left from clipping. Today, I'm using a glass nail file because it's a little bit more gentle on my natural nails than a traditional hand file, but you can use whichever file you prefer. For my cuticle prep, I'm using the Sally Hansen Instant Cuticle Remover. I apply it around the cuticle area and let it sit for about 10 seconds before gently pushing everything back with a metal cuticle pusher. This helps soften the cuticles and remove the dead skin from the nail plate. Once I'm finished, I wash my hands with soap and water to remove all of the remaining cuticle remover. I try to keep this whole process under a minute so that the product doesn't sit on my skin for too long. After washing my hands, I trim away any excess dead skin with my cuticle nippers. I'm only removing loose, dead skin, never live tissue. Of course, this step is completely optional. If you're not comfortable with it, you can definitely skip it, but I like the clean, polished look that it gives my finished manicure. Next, I'm sizing out my extensions. Today, I'm using the Après Sculpted Long Square Gel X tips. I place each tip all the way up to the cuticle and make sure it fits nicely from sidewall to sidewall. If a tip is too wide, I size down. If it feels too narrow or tight, I size up. I'm just looking for the best fit on each nail. I prefer the sculpted tips because my nails have more of a C-curve. If you have flatter nail beds, you can still use sculpted tips. You'll just want to use a little bit extra extend gel during the application to fill in any gaps. Now I'm prepping the inside of each extension by etching it with a small 240 grit sanding band at a speed of around 6,000 RPM. I recommend using one of these smaller sanding bands instead of the larger ones because they fit inside the extensions much more easily. All I'm doing is etching the area that will come into contact with my natural nail, and this just creates a rougher surface for better grip and helps improve adhesion. Next, I'm lightly buffing my natural nails. You can use the same 240 grit sanding band at around 6,000 RPM, but I prefer using a small buffing block because it gives me a little bit more control and it's just a little bit more gentle on my natural nails. Since I do my nails so often, I like to be as gentle as possible. I'm simply removing the surface shine to help the gel products bond better. Now it's time to dehydrate and prime the nails. I'm using this set from Model Ones, starting with their dehydrator. I'm applying it to the entire nail plate to remove any oils and moisture. Next is the primer. I apply a thin coat to each nail and let it air dry for about 2 to 3 minutes. This helps improve adhesion and reduces the chance of lifting. I'm also using a peel-off base today. which is what allows me to wear my nails anywhere from a couple of days to up to 3 weeks, depending on when I'm ready for a new set. It also lets me remove them without filing the product off or soaking my nails. I apply 2 thin coats, curing in between each coat for 60 seconds. I'll have this product along with everything else I use in today's video linked in the description box down below if you guys want to check that out. Now it's time for application. I'm pulling out my gooseneck flash cure lamp along with my pre-etched extensions, and the extend gel I'm using today is from Model Ones. I'm applying the extend gel to the inside of the extension, adding a little bit extra near the base. Since I'm using sculpted tips, they usually need a little bit more gel than you might expect. It takes a little bit of practice to know, but don't worry, all you have to do is experiment just to find your right amount. I position the extensions at around a 45-degree angle, starting at the cuticle, and slowly press it down towards the free edge. This helps push the gel forward and minimizes the chance of trapping air bubbles. And once the tip is in place, I hold it steady and flash cure it under my gooseneck lamp for about 15 to 20 seconds before moving on to the next nail. After all the tips are applied, make sure to fully cure them in a full-sized LED nail lamp for 60 to 90 seconds. Next, I'm blending the cuticle area using my e-file at around 6,000 RPM with the same small 240 grit sanding band from earlier. I'm just making a few light passes around the cuticles and sidewalls. The apres tips already have a very thin cuticle area, so they don't require much blending at all. But if you're using tips with a thicker cuticle area, you may need a coarser grit or a few extra passes to create that seamless transition. After that, I lightly etch the entire surface of my extensions to remove the shine. This creates a better surface for the gel products to adhere and helps prevent lifting. I pay extra attention to the edges and the free edge to make sure that the area is properly prepped. Before moving on, I'm going to refine the shape of my extensions by filing the free edge with a 180 grit hand file. Instead of holding my file perfectly straight, I angle it slightly to create more of a soft moon-shaped square. Next, I'm sealing the cuticle area with an oval brush from Yogurt Nail Korea. It's a really high quality cuticle brush that works perfectly for this step. I dip the brush in a small amount of acetone and gently run it along the cuticle area to slightly melt the extensions into my natural nail. This creates a seamless blend, and you'll know you've done it right when it's hard to tell where the extension begins. Finally, I'm wiping all of the extensions with some rubbing alcohol to remove any remaining dust or oils before we move on to the design. Today, I'll be using this light beige builder gel from Madame Glam. I'm starting by creating a slip layer, which is just a thin, uncured layer of builder gel applied over the entire nail. I'm not curing this layer yet. Instead, I'm going to place a bead of builder gel near the cuticle, making sure to avoid touching the skin and gently glide the gel towards the free edge. I'm keeping most of the product in the center of the nail to build the apex and create a balanced structure. Using a builder gel is optional when using sculpted tips. If you'd like, you can go in with regular gel polish instead, but I decided to use builder gel. Before curing, I use a small liner brush to refine the gel around the cuticle and the sidewalls, making sure everything is smooth and evenly in place. I also like to flip my finger upside down for 5 to 10 seconds to let gravity help the gel self-level. Then I'll use my liner brush to gently guide any excess product from the free edge back towards the apex. Once I'm happy with the shape, I'll flash cure the nail for 30 seconds before moving on to the next one. I'll repeat the same process on all of my nails, and after they're finished, I'll fully cure the entire set for around 60 to 90 seconds. When it comes to builder gel, I like to do a little bit of refining afterwards to perfect the shape. So I'll start by wiping away the sticky inhibition layer with some rubbing alcohol, and then I'll use my hand file to lightly refine the sidewalls. I'm keeping my file straight and focused on making the square shape more crisp and clean without removing too much product. Then I decided to go in with How Do You Neutral from D&D. This is a sheer jelly polish, and I applied one coat over my builder gel. I wanted to build up the coverage ever so slightly, and I'm just going to cure that for 60 seconds. Before we do any line work, I'm going to wipe off the sticky inhibition layer. For the French tips, I'm using this beautiful daffodil yellow gel polish from Macarte. It's a little warmer than the shade in the inspiration photo, so I did mix it with a little bit of Valentino Beauty Pure's white gel polish to lighten it up and get it to a closer match. I'm using an 11mm liner brush to paint my French tips. I start by creating the line where I want my smile line to begin, and then I paint a V shape down the center of the nail and connect those lines together before filling everything in with my liner brush. The pigmentation of this color was so good. Macarte's gel polishes are already super pigmented on their own, and Valentino Beauty Pure's white is incredibly opaque too, so mixing the two together was honestly chef's kiss. I'm going to repeat the same process on all of my nails, except for the middle finger, and then I'm going to cure everything for 60 seconds. Next, I'm using Magenta Crush from Madame Glam. I'm going to put a little bit of that onto my palette along with some white gel polish. And I'm going to start with the white to create those thin abstract line details on my ring finger. I'll have the inspiration photo on the screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing and recreating. I'm also using my dotting tool to add little white dots wherever they appear in the inspiration photo. So along the side walls, down in the bottom corner of the nail. And then I'm using the same dotting tool and I'm adding those pink polka dots to the thumb and pinky as well. I did 3 dots down the center of the nail, 2 on each side of those, and then another 3 along each side wall near the edges. To create the pink aura on my index finger, I'm using a mini sponge that's been lightly dampened with rubbing alcohol, and then I'll pick up a small amount of that Magenta Crush gel polish and gently sponge it onto the nail. I built up the color in 2 coats, curing for 60 seconds between each layer to make sure everything was fully cured before adding more. And once I was happy with the color, it was time to create those tiny butterflies. I'm using Macarte's clear Glux gel and rolling it out into a thin sheet and then cutting it up into small pieces. I'm using 4 small pieces to build the butterfly. I started by placing a slightly larger piece at the top for the head and then slightly smaller ones for the body, and then I flash cured those to hold it in place. Then I placed 2 small pieces on either side of the body to create the top wings. I gently pinched each piece into more of like a petal shaped, keeping most of the pressure towards the body so that the outer edges could fan out naturally. And once I was happy with the shape, I flash cured them in place. I definitely recommend using smaller pieces for the bottom wings. I applied them the same way, pressing firmly towards the center while letting the edges flare out, and I flash cured those in place. Then I painted those little pink antennas and outlined each wing with the same gel polish, and then I gave everything another full 60-second cure. I'm taking this sheer milky white gel polish and painting over the wings. I applied 2 thin coats, curing for 60 seconds in between each one. And once those layers were cured, I went back in with my white gel polish and added tiny dots along the pink outlines of each wing, bringing them as close to the body as I could without actually touching it, and I cured that fully. Now we're moving on to the middle nail. I'm taking this white Glux gel and rolling it into a really thin rope, almost like a little noodle, and cutting it into 2 pieces. You want it to be fairly thin, but not too thin. I started with the piece that I wanted the chrome on, and I placed it on my nail, trimmed off the excess, and cured it for 30 seconds to lock it in place. Once it was cured for 30 seconds, I grabbed my chrome powder and rubbed it all over the line. If you do get a little bit of chrome on your nail, you can just simply wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol or acetone. If you want to be extra cautious, you can apply a matte top coat first, buff it lightly, and then do the chrome application. Once the chrome was on, I added the second Glux gel line, shaped it the same way, trimmed off the excess, and cured it. Next, I took my crazy thick top gel from Jin B and picked up a small amount on my liner brush. I applied a thin line between the 2 raised lines and started placing my rhinestones. Unfortunately, I only had these light pink ones instead of the hot pink, but I still think they turned out really cute. I used my dotting tool to nudge each rhinestone into place before flash curing everything. And after that, I applied another thin line of the Crazy Thick Top Gel over the chrome line and started placing my caviar beads one by one. This part was definitely a little bit more time consuming, but the thick consistency of the gel gave me plenty of working time, so the beads didn't slide around as much as if I was using a lower viscosity gel. I also added a few caviar beads and pink rhinestones to the corner of the butterfly nails just to tie the whole design together. And to finish everything off, I'm using Makartt's new top coat. You'll want to use a top coat that self-levels really well, and this one does exactly that while being affordable. So I definitely recommend you guys give this one a try if you haven't already. I'm applying it to every nail and around the rhinestones, the caviar beads, and the Glux gel details. I like to brush the top coat in different directions rather than just floating it straight across the surface. This helps prevent the product from pooling around those raised details. And this is where a good self-leveling top coat really makes a difference. Even if your application isn't perfectly smooth, it levels itself out as it sits, leaving you with a beautiful glossy finish. Once everything is coated, I gave the nails a final 60-second cure. Next, I'm going back in with the Jinbei Crazy Thick Top Gel. I picked up a generous bead on my 11mm liner brush, and I like to hold my brush pointing downwards for a few seconds so that the gel gathers at the very tip. I'm starting near the cuticle and the sidewalls and gently dragging each line down towards the opposite corner of the nail. After every line, I flash cure it right away so that it stays nice and raised and doesn't have a chance to self-level. I just keep repeating that process until the entire nail is filled with those 3D streaks. And once everything is fully cured, I'm adding a little bit more of the Jinbei Crazy Thick Top Gel, and I placed a small rhinestone and a few caviar beads just to finish off the design. Since these are square nails, I always like to do a quick refinement at the end. I just sharpen up the edges and make it look a little bit more extra crisp and clean. Finally, I'm applying some cuticle oil. This is the Lemon Cookie Cuticle Oil from Blossom, and it smells absolutely amazing. And here are the finished nails. I think they are so cute. The butterfly has a gorgeous glass-like effect, and I love how the middle nail looks so intricate, even though it's actually pretty simple to create. Let me know in the comments if you'd wear this design, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one.